Everyone loves sticky, tender and crispy barbecue ribs, where the meat is soft and falling off the bone, with a sauce glaze that isn't overly sweet. Even better, one that you can make at home. So let's hit it. Okay, let's start with the rib rub. 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Grab a spoon and stir and mix it really well. You don't want any lumps or any clumps. Keep mixing, keep mixing. Okay, now this looks well mixed and homogenized. So the first thing you want to do is actually remove this horrible silvery membrane from the back of the ribs. So you want to grab it with your hands. It's really slippery, so I tend to get some kitchen paper and use that to get some purchase, and I find it works really well. So you can see, once you use kitchen paper, you can grab it and it pull off in one sheet slowly. Don't tear it, or you got to start again by finding it, which is a pain. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab a sheet of kitchen foil and put our pork ribs on there. Chopping board, don't need you anymore. Bye! Okay, so it's barbecue pork rib rub time. Wow, that's hard to say. So grab your rub and sprinkle it all over as equally as possible. Now it's time to get down and dirty. So you want to start patting, massaging and rubbing in that rib rub as well as possible. Get it into every nook and cranny, and the better distributed it is, the better your ribs will taste. Okay, not sure why I started playing the keyboard on my ribs, but there we go. Once you finish massaging that bad boy, you want to fold it up in the foil really tightly, because if you don't and you stick this in your fridge, believe me, your fridge is gonna stink for the next couple of days. After 12 to 24 hours in the fridge, the rib rub will have nicely settled in, so into a preheated oven at 180 Celsius for 2 to 3 hours. It wouldn't be barbecue ribs without barbecue sauce, so in a pan, add 250 milliliters of tomato ketchup, 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcester Sauce, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of Chipotle Paste for that smokiness, a dash of sweet chili sauce, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Now put the pan on, and we probably want to go for a medium to low heat to start with. We want to mix everything really well so the different ingredients are properly incorporated. There's nothing worse than hitting a globule of paprika or smoky chipotle paste. Nobody wants that. Keep an eye on the heat, as we don't want the sauce to burn, as it has quite a high sugar content. It should start to thicken after 10 to 15 minutes into the perfect consistency for sticking to the ribs. If you want to look chefy, now's the time to artistically decant into a glass jar, only to then pour back out when you need to use it on your ribs. After 3 hours at 180 Celsius in the oven, it's time to get the ribs out. Okay, let's have a look at how these ribs have gotten in the oven. So let's slowly unpeel the foil without burning yourself. Yes, look at those ribs. Ouch, there goes my sense of touch for the next couple of days. Okay, so now it's time to slather our homemade barbecue sauce all over the back of our baby back ribs, ensuring we coat it all over, including end bits and between those bones. As you can see, I've been a little bit clumsy when transferring the ribs, and one of the racks have fallen apart, so I'm probably not going to use that for photo purposes. That can only be a good thing, as that means the ribs are falling off the bone and nice and tender, which is exactly what we want. Once you've done that, put them under the grill or broiler if you're in the US for 5 to 10 minutes to crisp up. Once they're out, then flip the ribs back onto their backs, and again, slather and baste the ribs in that epic barbecue sauce. Again, make sure you coat it really well, and then back on the grill for another 5 to 10 minutes to finish off. And there we have it, some super easy barbecue baby back ribs, which have a homemade barbecue sauce that isn't overly sweet like in some restaurants, and has a slight kick from that sweet chili sauce, and that punch of smokiness from the chipotle. As with all meats, if you can resist, then let it rest for a while, so that the meat juices are supposedly retained, but more importantly, so you don't burn yourself with that barbecue sauce that is like molten lava. Lesson learned. I didn't heed my own advice, and as a result, I just singed my fingertips yet again. That steam that you can see as coming off the ribs is an indication that I probably should have waited a little bit longer before starting to cut and carve the ribs. Oh well. I'm going to grab a segment here just to show you what it looks like in the inside. So you can see It's perfectly cooked, it's moist, and nice and juicy. If for some unfathomable reason you manage to have some leftover, I'll tear the meat off the bone while still warm and then keep this wrapped up in the fridge, ready to make a rib sandwich in a couple of days' time. When you're ready, simply reheat in a microwave, grab a soft sub roll and stack it with meat. Then throw on some shredded lettuce, a few slices of raw onion, and maybe some sliced gherkins. Ugh, no thanks. And boom, you got yourself an enviable lunch. Alright, thanks for watching Can't Cook with Jason. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll leave you some footage of me failing to make my video look pro.